Grumpy Prosperity Team for this week's episode of Grow Your Mind and Money. Tonight, we are interviewing Janet Zaretsky, the president of the Zenith Business, which specializes in success coaching for businesses and entrepreneurs. Janet has experienced the other side of the mountain, the valley, and the mountaintop, and has used those challenges to empower herself by empowering others and taking their businesses to the zenith of success. Janet's work has touched the lives of people, communities, business owners, and their employees by providing the coaching needed to transform their lives, building, wealth building, and success. Janet Zaretsky is a champion for humanity. And it is time right now for some spoken word to kick off the show from the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry, none other than Shani. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Quiet Storm. And Shani the poet will be on the show, but she's actually performing on another show tonight, so she'll be in a little bit later. But Shani did send us a poem to kick things off. So let's kick back and hear it.
I confess, you were mine in another lifetime. You see, I remember your smile. And I know you don't quite understand that my ears have heard and my eyes have seen that you complete me. It was destined that we meet. See, you fathered my child, allowing me to give birth to heaven on earth. Some say I'm cursed. But if that means loving and having us, then I'd gladly be marked for life tattooed with your smile. And in the words of Caleb Israel, Al Green got my eyes low. But that green stimulates growth, tells me that you are more than worthy to know. And not just on the outside, but deep inside with words of knowledge embedded in my mind. I see us standing side by side, conversating, making me high on life. So see the world through our daughter's virgin eyes. Pure, innocent tears, crying, cleansing me within. And I reminisce so I can see it all over again. Maybe you can try that every now and then. See, I want you to truly comprehend. So thanks. Because when my world seems imbalanced, you shift it back into place. Graced by your presence, my former imperfections erase. Together we gravitate and our daily travel takes us to a brighter place. The sunshine. I know you remember the place that makes us smile. Yeah, baby. That's still wild. So how do you retrace your steps? They ask, but baby, that is the wrong question. The answer is why. So it stays fresh, clear as the night sky, with reflections of our footprints in the water along the seawall. And the sounds of the waves remind me of better days that I've shared with you. You take it away, you give it back, and I still love you. But I wonder if you knew that it's how intense my lips recall your first last kiss. And how your touch is the chain that links my senses, and I still feel you from a distance. I am strong enough to be your fist, but soft enough to be submissive. Are you listening? Because fate has continued to put you in my life, and karma has upped the ante every time I lay by your side. She reminds me, you are my left side, my strong side, my beautiful black butterfly. You are my dream catcher, my soul's protector, my greater than, less than, or equal to. But I wonder if you knew just how much I love you. So I have a question. Do you? And if you don't, then I must have made a mistake. I can't take it back and it can't be erased. So I ask you to embrace my love for your happiness. Allow me to show you how well your life should be spent. Your love is my gift. And you have filled my life with riches beyond belief. With you, my soul sings, my mind is at peace. When you're away, my heart just grieves. Are you listening? And if you can't handle it, then walk away and I'll simply say nothing.
Snap, snap, toe tap. That was Shani the poet, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry.
Yes.
Well, we're going to move along, and folks, we're wrapping up our holiday season with a very, very special guest. But before we get to the guest, we do want to send a Miss Cookie. Our favorite one is ill and under the weather. So please send your prayer shout-out messages to her. And but we have a capable person to fill in for. You know, Nakia, the Empress of Faith, will be taking over for her. But right now, before we continue, it's time to see what money-making thought Darnell has for us today. Over to the Voice of Reason.
Thank you, Ronnie B. Think about it differently. There are many more ways than just one way to think of any situation. If you're stuck or perplexed, angry, frustrated, conflicted, or confused about anything, give yourself the option of thinking about it differently. Instead of going over the same puzzle again and again, scramble up all the pieces and come at it from a completely different angle. Throw out your assumptions. Take several steps back and give yourself the benefit of a new perspective. You are wonderfully creative, so put the creativity to good use. You can think whatever you choose to think, so choose to think in new and original ways. Perhaps what you think you need to get rid of is actually something you could use more of. It could be that what you once considered impossible is not only possible, but is also the most effective way forward. Challenge what you've assumed and what you think you know. Just beyond your supposed certainties are many great possibilities. There's something good, valuable, and workable in any situation. Think about it differently and find an amazingly wonderful way forward. What I've learned about myself and growing my mind when it comes to the theme, think about it differently, and the action I would take is to approach my day today, allowing my creativity to show me how to better impact those around me. This will allow me one day to flourish beyond my expectations when I think about it differently. I will see you later on in the show, but right now it's time. I repeat, it's time for our special interview with Janet Zaretsky, Success Coach Extraordinaire. Ronnie B, over to you.
Thank you, Voice of Reason. Think about it differently, and you know we have the right person on the show tonight for that. In the first part of the show, we'll learn about a challenge Janet faced in having her dreams fulfilled, a challenge that knocked the wind out of her sails. Somehow, some way, she kept going and used that challenge to give her strength that has made her successful in every area she chooses to focus her time and energy. In part 2 of the show, Nakia will continue the interview and look at some of the challenges Janet faces in having her business and vision fulfilled. We will learn about Janet's aha moment that launched the Zenith business. In the finale, Janet will share with Darnell a couple of practices that will make a difference in reaching your goals for wealth and prosperity. Janet will also share the future of her business and her upcoming projects. Thank you, Janet, for being on the show tonight.
Thank you, Ronnie. It's an honor to be here.
We appreciate that, and we're going to dive right in. Now, Janet, what we're asking in this part of the show is for you to please share an incident or time in your life that knocked the wind out of your sails when the going got even rougher and you felt like you were lost. Please be as specific as possible so we can truly appreciate what you were experiencing.
Absolutely. Well, I started my career as a nurse, and I left nursing almost 20 years ago. And then I went into business with another ex-nurse, and we were doing really pretty good. You know, we had this whole idea, and I got trained and developed in a particular assessment tool, and we were working with actual big business people, creating winning sales teams. And we used to joke around, here we are doing business, and we know nothing about business. And it was, you know, we were having fun, and we were actually making money. We had made 6 figures in our first year out, which is pretty good for a brand new business. And then we had this brilliant brainstorm. And the brainstorm was we could take the work we were doing and work on having people matched in the dating industry. Think eHarmony. This is pre-eHarmony. It was a brilliant idea. We even had, we found this guy in Atlanta, and he was an organizational behavioral psychologist, and we got him on board, and he was all excited. And then I had a friend whose husband happened to be a venture capitalist, just so happened, and they offered us $1 million to take this idea. That's pretty, I mean, it was like, I was like, oh, okay. Problem was that my business partner was like, no, because it wasn't they just wanted to give us $1 million. They said, you don't know what you're doing in business. And they said, we don't want you in the business, but you can be on the advisory board. I was like, fine. You know what? You're right. I don't know how to run $1 million business. And then she got really, really upset. And she, you know, just kind of caused all kinds of havoc. And so the guys that were going to give us the money pulled me aside because all of the investment at that point was my husband's and my money. And we sunk $125,000.
Wow.
It wasn't $1 million, but $125,000 isn't money to sneeze at. And they're like, you own it. But, you know, legally, we had all the agreements. We were business partners. So I'm going to say it this way, they talked me into going to a lawyer, and it got really ugly. It was horrible. We were also friends, and, you know, it just got really, really ugly. Now, I ultimately won the legal battle of it, but it, you know, took months and time and energy and emotion, and I just said, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. So not only did we lose, I don't know if you know this, but I looked this up. eHarmony made $310 million in 2012. So who knows if we would have been the eHarmony? But that potential's gone. The $1 million was gone, and the $125,000 that my husband and I invested was gone.
Oh man!
And my husband said to me, now, I have a great husband. We've been married 27 years now.
I'm glad you have a great husband.
Yeah, totally. I had to, right? You know,
$120,000. I might have been looking for a new person.
Right, or never forgiven me. You know. But what he did say to me is, I think it's cheaper if you don't work.
Oh, God.
No, I actually didn't. I didn't work for several years. You know, and that was really a low point for me. It was like, you know, I changed careers. I was on fire. And then, you know, I made mistakes in that whole process. And it was bad.
I know during some of that period, did you find yourself blaming people, the circumstances, or as I like to say, really just beating yourself up?
Both, everything. I beat everybody up.
You were equal opportunity. Okay.
I was an equal opportunity blamer, right? So I blamed my business partner because if she hadn't dug her heels in, we could have had the deal. We might have made a lot of money. And so, you know, she just wouldn't be reasonable was my opinion. And then I blamed the investors because they talked me into getting a lawyer, and maybe I could have just worked it out with that her. But, then by then I really did have the view that I didn't know what I was doing in business, which I didn't at that point, deeply, but I did know what there was to do about life, and I didn't honor that. And then I blame myself. That's a lot of money to have lost, and with no possibility for gaining it. So I definitely blamed everyone.
There was something that you just said, which was that you didn't know that other stuff, but you did know about life, and you didn't honor that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was trained as a coach long before that happened. A couple of years. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 years, and I'd been a coach, and I'd been involved in transformational type of education, and I know that in a conversation you can resolve things.
Yes.
But the minute I stopped communicating with her and went the legal route, the die was cast, and it wasn't good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you just said, that you knew that you could resolve, not particularly that specific, but just for how you were and operated, you knew that, hey, I can resolve things in a conversation. And like you said, you didn't honor that. You kind of were swayed. We'll say you were swayed.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Now you were in the doldrums for a little bit there. When did you start to, kind of see the light of hope and possibility, and what did you do to get back on track with what you wanted to do?
Well, as a coach, I think all coaches that are worth their salt have a coach, and I did finally get some coaching at a point. I mean, I realized that, there's an old saying, and it's resentment is you drink the poison and hope they die. It just kills your soul. And I was walking around, and I remember seeing her in a setting, and it was all there, all this emotion and resentment and anger. I didn't want to hold on to that, so I got coaching, and I stopped blaming her. And I stopped blaming myself, and I actually did apologize to her. So I, after seeing her and getting coaching and stop beating myself up, I called her and I invited her to lunch. Now, I don't know why she went to lunch. If it were me, I might not have. I don't know if we were on the other foot. But she did go to lunch with me, and I apologized to her, and I just let her talk. And, I don't even remember what she said, but she talked a long time, and I'm sure she had a lot of anger, and I just didn't interrupt. I just, what was there to defend? You can't defend somebody else's experience, right? You can't argue. That wasn't your experience. No, that was her experience, and I just let her talk. And, we talked several times, and then we really did restore our friendship. And
wow.
I do remember at some point she apologized to me for getting so tied up in knots. I don't remember what her expression, but it was. That's kind of what I left with, is that she got tied up in knots, and she wasn't being reasonable. But I wasn't saying that to her. When I apologized to her and let go of all the anger, I think she actually got her part in the mess and got responsible. And then I also, really apologized to my husband. I was frozen for a long time. Like I
wow.
had kids. My husband said, it's true, he did say that I shouldn't work, but I didn't for a few years, but it was more from I was frozen. Like, I can't do anything because I'm going to screw it up again. And apologizing to him and letting go of the resentment and letting go of the regret gave me freedom.
It's very interesting, and something that I think I heard in a seminar once from you, and it's about when we look at relationships. We tend to think of it as 50-50, and what's available and what's possible if you take ownership of 100%.
Yeah.
Period. And that's what I got from there was that point where you said, no, I'm taking 100% responsible. So she could have the freedom and the space to say what was there and for you each to forgive. That was awesome. That was awesome. God. And y'all are friends today?
She's moved out of the area, but, for years, we were friends. We'd go out to lunch. She'd call me for coaching, I wish her well. She, like I said, she's moved on, and, if she were in the area and I saw her, everything would be great. You know how it is. You move and you move on with life.
Right. But y'all left as friends, not as enemies.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wow. God, sometimes we 7 years. That could be that's a lot of blame. 7 years, but oh God, yeah. I resemble that remark. But now, Janet, what words of wisdom will you share with our listeners from tonight's theme? Think about it differently when it comes to building wealth and prosperity.
I love that question. I just love that question. And, when Darnell was talking about think about it differently, when I think about things differently, first of all, there's never a right perspective. I really believe that. I honor that. I live life like that. There's a view you have. There's a view somebody else has. And if you're willing to look and open your eyes, other things are available. So just like what happened with that failed business, you're going to make mistakes in life. I think the critical thing to remember is that you're human, and that's part of your humanity, and to forgive yourself and to forgive other people. Because if you're talking about building wealth and prosperity, you can't build wealth from blame or anger or resentment. You've got to let go of that. You can't create something unless there's a real clear path to create it. So I'm very visual, so I always like to create like a picture. And as I'm saying this, what I can envision is, like you're riding a bicycle down a path, but there's rocks everywhere. You're never going to get to the bottom of a hill with rocks. You've got to clear the path out. So I think what I would say is look for where all those rocks are. See what you could give up and get out of the way and forgive yourself. For heaven's sakes, you're just a human being. And forgive others.
Wow, that is great. Now, what you've been sharing has been a blessing, and I'm moved, touched, inspired by your spirit. And I see for myself freedom. Now, we will hear more from Janet later in the show. It's time for a prosperous spirit with Miss Cookie, but she's ill, but Nakia's going to take over for her.
Thank you, Ronnie Dean. Awesome segment. Beauty. I see beauty everywhere I look. Today, I take time to behold beauty in and around me. I pause to look into the eyes of my family, friends, and those I meet. My mind may notice only physical appearance, but I aim to see beauty in the heart and within my heart. In each face, I find the story of a life unfolding. I look with the eyes of my heart and discover divine beauty in each person. I notice their most positive aspect, an attitude, a gesture, a smile. Finding beauty is a practice that takes time, but I am patient. If I rush or disregard what's in front of me, I remember to slow down and perceive the best in others. As I form this new habit, I am gentle with myself. I gaze in the mirror and behold the loveliness of spirit expressing through me. Beauty is everywhere I look. Stay true to your faith. Shani, take us to break.
And Shani has not arrived yet, but she would be saying, stay tuned for The Kitchen with Miss Cookie and Quiet Storm featuring a hot new artist on the corner. Keep those ears glued to those speakers.
Another day, another restless night, crying myself to sleep. Another day of relentless phone calls from credit card companies demanding payment. Another day wondering if filing bankruptcy or getting one of those debt consolidation loans is the only way to go. A friend said, stop crying. Call Sharon, the debt destroyer. Sharon and her team of experts work hard to help you eliminate your credit card debt and get you and your credit back on track. No bankruptcy? No loans? Your credit card debt eliminated? I called Sharon, and her team of experts went right to work with a plan that made sense. I am sleeping peacefully, knowing my credit card debt is being destroyed and my credit is getting back on track. Have your credit card debt destroyed and get a good night's sleep. Contact Sharon, the debt destroyer, at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call 888-431-2829, extension 2.
We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Okay. I don't know what it is, but something smells great. I think it's a dish Miss Cookie may have left in the oven, in the kitchen. What is it?
Well, voice of reason. As Miss Cookie would say, welcome to the kitchen. We have a great recipe to feed those hearty appetites that have been working diligently on growing their minds and money. And this week, Miss Cookie actually has a recipe from a friend. It's Barlow's blackened catfish. And it takes about 50 minutes. And Cajun catfish served up with just the right touch of spices and flavor. This entree is perfect for a quick, excellent way to taste the unique flavor of catfish mixed with the traditional method of down south cooking, just without all the fat. Serve on top of white rice or brown rice. The ingredients: 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of lemon pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder or crushed garlic, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of pepper, 1 pound of catfish fillet, 2 tablespoons of butter, and 1 cup of Italian-style salad dressing. Now, the preparation is about 10 minutes. You cook it for 40 minutes and it's ready and festive. Preheat oven to 350 degrees. Lightly grease a medium baking dish. Step 2. In a shallow medium bowl, mix cayenne pepper, lemon pepper, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Push it. Brush both sides of catfish fillet with butter. Rub the fillets with the cayenne pepper mixture on both sides. Heat a large, heavy skillet over medium-high heat until really hot. Hot. Add fillets and fry approximately 2 minutes on each side until slightly blackened. Arrange the blackened fillets in a single layer in the prepared baking dish and coat with Italian-style salad dressing. Bake 30 to 35 minutes in the preheated oven until the fish is easily flaked with a fork. Yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And don't forget to send your prayers and shout-outs to Miss Cookie so that we can get her back on the corner. Back in the kitchen, because it's time for the corner with Quiet Storm. Let's give her a smooch and a rose. Quiet Storm.
Thank you so much, Ronnie, and I want to definitely thank Miss Cookie in absentia, but we know she will definitely be back for the new year. And tonight, we are featuring music from Groove 55. They're out of Beloit, Quebec, with their album, Voyage. From the website, contemporary, up-tempo, smooth jazz, loaded with grooves, funk, great melodies, and awesome rhythm tracks. As you know, we usually ask our team to vote whether the track is going to get a smooch and a rose or if it needs more fertilizing. And our first track from Groove 55 is called Feeling Good. Definitely got to hear this one. feeling good. And we're going straight to our team. We want to know exactly what's up with them. And I'd like to start with Lady Nakia. Nakia, were you feeling good on that one?
I was feeling slightly too good. I love that.
Oh.
And it's quiet, it's peaceful right now, and that was relaxing me a bit too much. But I'm going to definitely give it a smooch and a roll tonight.
All right. Well, we've got our first smooch and a rose for Groove 55. And let us go to Darnell. Darnell, what do you think?
Man, I kind of liked it. I'm going to give that a rose. It was a little long, but I liked it. It was a good groove. Good groove.
All right. Well, we've got another one who really felt this was all right, and let's go right to our guest, Janet. Janet, what did you think of that one?
I really liked it. I liked the melody a lot, and I definitely give it a smooch and a rose. I love jazz.
Excellent.
I'm sitting here grooving to it in my chair.
All right. Well, we are on a roll. And Ronnie B., what do you think?
Coming from a hip place, I'm giving it a smooch and rolls. I liked it. I thought the group was jamming.
Jamming and grooving. And it is unanimous because I am also giving it a smooch and a rose. On to our next track. This one is titled Hornet. Interesting title, but let's hear it. And that was Hornet from Groove 55. And we're going straight to our panel. Starting with Ronnie B.
I'm going to give Hornets a smooch and a rose. They was grooving and moving. I'm with them.
Okay, well, that is good enough for me. Miss Janet?
Oh, I love the horn. What a great name, Hornet. That definitely gets a smooch and a rose. I love that.
Well, all right. And we're moving on to Lady Nakia.
I'm going to give that one a smooch. I like the first one better. This one was extremely long. The other one was long, but this one I think was slightly longer. I need to be in a different setting to have them back to back like that, but I'm going to give it a smooch.
All right. The voice of reason, Darnell.
Oh, man, I like this better. Remind me of the old Green Hornet days, the Batman dance.
Give them where your age, voice of reason.
That's all right. We give it a smooch and a rose.
Smooch and a rose, and that is hilarious because I was thinking myself, I don't know why, but I was thinking about Fat Albert and the rest of the gang. But I liked it. It was groovy, that's for sure. Love that horn arrangement as well, and I'm giving it a rose. Well, audience, if you liked what you heard from Groove 55, you can hit them up at groove55.com. Darnell, take us to the bridge.
Up next, Shiny Sunshine Lounge and Voices from the Ether. Please stay tuned.
Yeah. Pay someone to give me coaching when what I need is to make more money. Let's get real. You are already making money if you can afford to pay a so-called coach to get you to the next level. Ever hear the old saying, those who can, do. Those who can't, coach. Seems like a whole bunch of so-called life or business coaches do nothing but sell the need for coaching. I was more than skeptical when it came to paying a coach to help me make more money in my business. Margaret Bassant's Elegant Coaching is about fulfilling desires now, not later, which blew me away. Week 1, I am critical, suspicious, skeptical, and disagreeable. Margaret trains us on seeing what is hidden from our view. Week 2, I am beginning to pinpoint the exact actions I take when making the moves critical to growing my business that are keeping it from growing wildly. I am less skeptical, critical, and suspicious. Margaret trains us how to put the past in the past and bring completion to decisions that are impacting our present and future effectiveness. Week 3, my company doubled its sales income and I made a lot more money, a lot more. I want more coaching. Margaret Bassant's Elegant Coaching, fulfilling desires now, not later.
We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Now it's time to visit the lounge with none other than Shani. Take it away.
Well, Shani, as we said, is still performing, but we got the voice of reason filling in for her.
All right. Thank you, Ronnie B. Welcome to the Shiny Sunshine Lounge, where we feature a mixture of goodies that will stimulate your mind. Baby, as you tap your foot. Tonight we have an awesome poet, Ryan Carson, and Tillman Keaton, and the production of Queens Be Like. Sit back and relax. Queens Be Like.
Queens be like, you see, that silence was intentional because real queens don't have to say much. Queens don't have to pay much attention to the latest trend and what the next person be like. She's too busy being passionate about seeing what her dreams be like. She could care less about being liked because her validation isn't masked with vanity. Her roots go back to Nefertiti and Nefertari, so Nicki Minaj or Marilyn Monroe would never be her idols. She's her own rival, her own competition, no need to compete. And plus she's whole already, so no need for a man to complete. Sometimes teens try to get at queens like, your life is a metaphor for beauty. Your body is a poem even my pen couldn't leap to compose sufficiently. Your mind is an allegory representing alienated awareness of a motherland like queen. Arrogance is jealous because it knows you have every right to be with it, and yet you make love to humbleness. How elegant. But you see, she didn't need me to tell her that because queens be knowing their worth. She understands that if you allow for a man to build you up, that he can also tear you down, so she is self-empowered. She is not self-conscious, but so conscious of self, she understands her place in this world is divine. She understands her most valuable asset is her mind, and understands how feeble the male's mind can be, so she won't have any pictures on IG from behind. Queens be like. She understands that monogamy starts in the mirror and not the bed. And if there is a void, she realizes only she can fill it. If she scrapes her heart, she realizes only time can heal it. So she doesn't use relationships as temporary band-aids. Queens be like the mortal angel that gave birth to me 23 years prior to me writing an appreciation poem about how queens be like, yeah, strong like that, strong like backbone, strong like my rib, strong like my mom. I know that I'll never know half the things that queens be like. I know queens be like the foundation of every community. Queens be liking to support other queens in unity. Queens be like inspiration to kings to get their in order. Queens don't take their crown off to fit in. Queens keep their crown on so they don't lower their heads, and neither do they lower their standards to win. Queens don't blend in. Queens know she doesn't have to reveal much because it's heaven behind her grin. She sees her friends not as bad bees because she realizes there's nothing royal about being a female dog. Queens be like carrying humanity in her stomach, so I don't know how we stomach to mistreat the roots of the human family. You are the ships that carry the precious cargo of humanity, so to neglect the queen's value is insanity. Queens be like. Queens don't settle for being someone's secret. Queens be like, no, I won't wait for you to continue to chase pheasants, because if I leave you, king, you'll soon learn your lesson. And kings listen, and kings learn, and kings cherish everything that queens be like, because queens be like. That silence was intentional because real queens don't have to say much. Hold your crown high.
Wow. Panel is queens be like getting some snaps or some rotten tomatoes. Let's just throw it straight to Janet, our honor guest.
Snaps. I love the message.
Oh, okay. All right. And Nakia, I see you over there.
Well, you know I'm smiling because queens like me be like, snap, snap, snap. Indeed.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew that would get you in.
I'm a queen. I am a queen. I mean, what can I say?
Wow.
And he speaks so eloquently about women like me. So I'm going to take this opportunity to just say, queens like me.
There you go. There ain't nothing like a little PSA. All right. Quiet Storm, don't be quiet.
Well, this one was definitely high on the chart, and I loved everything that he brought forth, and I'm definitely giving him snaps, snaps, snaps.
Ooh. All right. Ronnie B, tell me something.
See, that silence was intentional.
Yes.
hey, Kings, listen. Snap, snap.
All right. Clean that wax out your ears, Kings, and listen. Well, I hope you enjoyed the performance of Ryan Carlson and Tillman Key. You can check them out on YouTube, Queens Be Like. Now it's time to continue our interview with the great Janet Zaretsky. Nakia, please take it away.
Thank you, Darnell. Awesome. Janet, thank you for sharing and your willingness to be open and authentic. In this segment, we will learn more about Janet and some of the challenges she faces having the Zenith business succeed and exceed all expectations. So, Janet, again, thank you for coming on the show and, taking this opportunity to end our year with us gracefully. Can you share an aha moment when you knew in your heart of hearts that creating the Zenith business was the right thing for you to do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's for me, it was one of those other kind of eye in the storm moments. So again, I was in business with another person, another woman, and then she came to me one day and she said, I don't want to be in business with you. It's kind of like one of those wake-up calls because we had been in business for, a couple of years and we were making money. And I got coaching again, and I really knew, this was the third time. So I talked about the first time. This is the third time. There was another time, too, where something similar. Wasn't exactly similar, but, when something similar has happened to you, you're the one it's happening to. So you've got to go, oh, well, I'm the common denominator of this whole thing.
Absolutely.
So I went and I got some coaching, like I said, and what I discovered that, that first thing when those guys told us that we're investing in, wanting to invest in the business, that you don't know what you're doing in business, that I actually had been living like that was really true, even though I had been in business for 20 years.
Wow.
And that was a great discovery. Sorry, say it again. So anyway, I realized that reality and my thoughts were not connected. And what I was doing was I would connect myself to somebody else's dream to validate myself, given I didn't think I had validity.
Wow,
and
that's powerful.
It was very powerful. It was such a wake-up call for me, and it was just like, wow, now I got free. It was like a moment of clarity and a moment of freedom when, like you said, it was an aha moment, like, oh, well, then let me do what I want to do so I can make the biggest difference I want, and I do know what I'm doing. I mean, I've led programs, transformational programs, and coached over 31,000 people. Give me a break. I know what I'm doing. But I'm like, how you get so blind to yourself? Yeah. And I was really blind to myself. So I just said, okay, and here we go. And, started working on creating it and recreating things and having a ball. And I'm telling you, it's the best thing in the world to be fully you, own it all, and do it all.
Well, before we get to that point, let's talk about the circumstances or people that challenge you in having your business and the difference you made exceed all expectations. What are you doing to overcome, or what did you do to overcome any of the obstacles that stood in your way before you got to that point where you had that ownership and that freedom?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. So let me just see if I get the question, is like, what am I dealing with now? Or the circumstances of people that are challenging me in building the business and me actually delivering. Is that what you're asking?
I'm going to help y'all out a little bit.
Okay.
Janet, what circumstances or people challenge you in having your business and the difference you make exceed all expectations? What are you doing to overcome those obstacles?
Oh, that's great. Okay, thank you. So that one's pretty easy. One of the biggest challenges I have is when I'm working, because a lot of times I work one-on-one and sometimes I work in groups, but one-on-one with someone and I see brilliance. And I pretty much see brilliance in most people. I mean, I think people are amazing. And what just breaks my heart is such a challenge for me is when they will not see how great they are. When they insist they can't do it. So, you know, it just drives me insane. And how I overcome that obstacle, and most of the time I'm effective at it, sometimes I'm not, but I'm really creative, so I'll create all kinds of exercises and have them work on actually altering their view of their self. And the thing that I would say is that I don't step over a gnat's behind. You know, I'm really trained in listening, and I just don't step over anything. And I hate snakes, and so I created this thing for myself. If I step over something, it's like stepping over a rattlesnake, and it'll bite me in the butt.
Wow. That's a great analogy.
I told you I'm visual. So, you know, so it really is, for me, every moment is an opportunity for someone to wake up and get their power. So I never back down on them. I never step over anything, and I just work till they actually get how extraordinary they are.
Wow, I can definitely relate to that, and I'm sure so many others can relate to that as well. So, Janet, share with us a disappointment that involved working with others that still has you shake your head today.
Well, kind of what I was talking about. Look, you know, everybody I know, we all have our personal challenges. Some people it's that they can't see their brilliance. Some people is, you know, they think they don't have a skill set, or they don't honor their promises all the time.
Oh, wow.
And then they develop evidence that they're right about who they are. And that has happened. And that's happened for some people. There's one guy, so you said a disappointment. There was this one man I worked with a couple of years ago, and he was in a 6-month coaching agreement with me. And, you know, he paid me a lot of money, and we had a great business concept, and he was at work on it, but then he would just start missing calls and not do the work, and then he literally disappeared. He just disappeared. And I wonder, I mean, we're talking about it, I'm like, I wonder whatever happened to him. That really has me shake my head. I can't imagine being in that kind of a partnership and putting that money in and not doing fully the work when you had the possibility that you could fulfill it. That's really,
right.
really
That's a, you know, wow, how impactful is that to invest in yourself financially? You're giving up so much, and you're determined to do it, and then you just disappear. I would shake my head on that, too. Wow. Go ahead. So share with us now a specific moment where your efforts and the memories of the work you and others do or did still brings a smile to your face.
That one, fortunately, there's more of those than the disappointments. So I'll speak of one person. I'm going to call her Sally just for anonymity's sake. But so I was working with this person, and she kept letting a particular man demean her. like put her down.
Yeah.
And it hit her both personally and professionally. Now, I was coaching her professionally, but, when you're working with somebody, you're working with their life. All of it gets touched. Anyway, so I just kept working with her, and I kept asking questions about what do you want and who are you? And finally, she stood up to this guy, and she wasn't nasty about it. This is the other thing that I'm just so proud of her. She wasn't nasty about it. She was really committed to leaving this guy also great, but she stopped allowing him to demean her and kind of run over her.
Wow.
And I want you to know, that woman, she is like amazing. She's soaring. She is like a major leader in the profession that I was working with her on. And she always tells me, I took her from wimp to, I'll use the initials, BA.
Okay.
Someone who can't be messed with. She's unmessable with. She is really a rock star.
Wow.
And that, for me, just so rocks. I love it. I love it when people soar.
That is awesome. That was a major transition that you took her through. I'm sure that many of us can relate to that and just see ourselves going from one phase of life into another. And Janet, I know that we could definitely talk forever, but it's time to hear from our listeners, and I really want to thank you for coming on and being authentic and sharing with us tonight and giving us some insight of who you are. So let's hear from our listeners. Quiet Storm, what do you hear from the ethers?
And we definitely have some voices from the ethers this evening. This one is coming from Mr. Sidney Brigham, and he writes, wow, Miss Bailey was a great guest. I love her enthusiasm and dedication to help people be financially literate. God bless her. The entire show was a blast. Smooches to Nakia. Her conversation with Miss Bailey really hit home. And again, that was from one of our listeners, Sidney Brigham, concerning last week's interview. And Sidney, we do thank you for taking the time to share yourself and be one of our voices from the ethers this week. Well, let's see what is coming up next. It looks like we are going to take just a short break. Is that right, Darnell?
Storm, you are correct. Coming up in the next segment, the finale, with my interview with Janet, food for thought, and the prosperity work.
Oh, how special. Oh, beautiful, just beautiful. Oh, how adorable is that?
Edible Arrangements has a fresh fruit bouquet to make any occasion special. Our bouquets are made with fresh premium fruit, arranged in a variety of stunning displays. Make every occasion special with Edible Arrangements. Guys, the baby's over here.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay, yes. And don't even think about touching my edible arrangements.
For pickup or delivery nationwide, call 877-DO-FRUIT, 877-DO-FRUIT, or go to ediblearrangement.com. That's ediblearrangement.com.
Yeah. Oh, my. What a nice looking baby you've got there.
Make all your special moments. Moments with Edible Arrangements.
Well, we give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money. And again, we do it all with love. Over to you, Darnell, for the finale.
Thank you, Quiet Storm. The finale. Janet, it has been a very special treat having you on the show tonight. I am very much in awe of some of the experiences you've had to deal with and from listening to you share so freely about them. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Not a problem. So let's just dive right into it, shall we?
Sure.
What challenges do you see lurking in the waters that would try to slow you down but take you off the path from growing your coaching and transformation business, having it succeed beyond expectation?
That one's simple. My biggest flaw is I want it now. I have no patience. So, running a business, setting up a business, there's all the aspects of implementing all the processes. And I know how to do that. I've done it before. I'm doing that. But I just want it all. And I can see that one of the biggest challenges I'll have is just staying on track and not getting distracted and making sure I'm doing it all.
Wow. I mean, in this sense, you say you want it all. I mean, just being patient. I mean, is that something that has woven through every business venture you've been through? You just want it right now?
Pretty much. That's my whole life.
Okay. So
that is my biggest flaw and challenge, but I know that at least,
Okay. Well, hey, sometimes, we know what we know about ourselves and we're honest. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Janet, please share 2 pitfalls you've seen people fall into when it comes to being consistent in their actions for growing their wealth, health, and well-being.
You mean I can only show 2, really? Okay.
Yeah,
there's a billion pitfalls, but I'll give you my 2 most common things I see. So I think the most common thing that I see and hear from people is when they fail to keep their promises, either to themselves or to other people. And then they either get embarrassed or ashamed or somehow they blame themselves. And then because they did that, they don't get back in action. So what I always say is falling off the horse is acceptable, but getting back on the horse is mandatory, or you're going to get run over, and horses hurt. That's the first pitfall.
Ooh.
And the other pitfall is from a mindset perspective. So I think that people are the ones who put a lid on what they can accomplish. They think something, like I can only do so much, then they act out of what they think, like they do what they do, but in regard to it can only be this way, and then they are right about it. They prove it right. And if people can see, I'm the one who's in charge of my future, like I'm the one who put the lid on, I can take the lid off. And then it's kind of a euphemism, but the sky's the limit. So those 2 pitfalls, that's what I would say.
It's funny because really when you mentioned the horse, believe me, I was thrown off a horse at 5, but I haven't rode a horse since. So I would have liked for you to have been in my life to have been able to help me get back on that horse.
Understood. That's great.
Wow. Where have you been all my life? I tell you. Janet.
That's great. Yeah.
The audience is begging us. The lines are lighting up because we want you to please share with us one practice you use daily to keep yourself in action and focused on the results you intend to produce. I know we touched on this in a conversation earlier, but now we need to know what that one practice is.
Yeah. I'm as I said before, I'm really visual. So I have things taped to my wall that's in front of me where I work. I sit in front of a desk and a computer and on the phone, but I have a visual display. And depending on what I'm dealing with, my display will have important things. So as I'm building something, I have the outcomes of what I'm building, the details of it, and dates by when, and then actions. That's one display. Then I might, depending on the time, I might put a quote up, because I really love quotes that speak to me, and I might put a quote up, or a challenge, or a promise, or right now, like I have a bunch of words that speak to me about Business Zenith, different ways of saying it. So I'm listening for and elevating people. So I just put something visual in front of me that will keep me on track. And I think I actually am a real big proponent of some sort of structure so you keep things in existence, whether it's visual like myself, or it's auditory, or it's something that, pops up as a reminder in your computer, like, acknowledge yourself today or something. But I'm a real believer in something that reminds you, some practice. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, because believe me, I know you have stock and posted.
You bet.
Okay. All over. But that's beautiful because, again, it helps you stay right there, keeps you moving, but it does not exclude some of the things that you are trying to accomplish, and make sure that you keep them on your radar.
Yes.
Wow. Great. Janet, what do you have on your plate? How can our listeners learn more about the projects and activities you're involved with, and your commitment to creating a culture of financial literacy? Give it to us.
Well, I'll tell you, the timing of this couldn't be more perfect. So first of all, I do personal one-on-one coaching, and I also do one-day workshops, and in April I'm going to start some group coaching programs. So if anybody wants information on that, you can go to my website, which is www.thezenithbusiness.com, and fill out the contact form. Or I also have a free Produce Results, Get Moving guide, which is about a technique to use to end procrastination, which I find is a common problem for people. And I have a very, very special opportunity that I would like to offer the listeners of this show. I'm in the final stages of recording a program that is called Success Money Mindset. And this isn't like, a lot of times you'll buy programs or you'll get programs and they're all about tips and techniques and how to manage your money. This isn't anything like that. This is a very unique program, and it's all about altering your mindset so that you do manage, and have the money you really do want. Now, that I sell that program, it includes a one-on-one free strategy session with me. I sell that program. It's worth like $147. But for the listeners of this program, I'd like to offer it for free. And what they'll need to do is they'll go to the website and they'll put in a coupon code. And the coupon code should be easy. Old Grumpy Prosperity. And then they'll get it for free. Now, if it won't be launched till January 1st, so if you're listening to this before January 1st, wait till then. And if you want to send me a message through the contact form to remind you when it's up, let me know. Or if you forget the coupon code, let me know. But I would like to offer that because I think it's a great way to start the new year with altering your mindset so it's a success money mindset. And I really look forward to working with people.
Well, you would definitely get a lot of takers on that. Are you on any social media or anything like that?
I am. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. So the Zenith Business come like my page. And I'm also on LinkedIn under Janet Zaretsky. I haven't learned to tweet yet.
No? You can't tweet?
I haven't tweeted yet.
Hey, well, we'll definitely be on the lookout for that, and we'll be seeing a lot of people going to your website, putting in that code. Tell them the code one more time so they can get it right, Janet.
Yes. So the website, oh, by the way, the website it's just a one page right now. We're rebranding and it'll be launched hopefully early January. But you can at least get there. It's thezenithbusiness.com. And the code with no spaces is Old Grumpy Prosperity.
Well, we thank you, Janet, for being on Grow Your Mind and Money. You please have to promise us that you will come back and visit us again.
That'd be my pleasure.
Oh, it'll be our pleasure. Well, thank you very much, Janet.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Oh, our pleasure. Now, I wonder what special dish Nakia has whipped up over us on Food for Thought. She got her Food for Thought apron on.
Yes, I do. Food for Thought. New and beautiful world. A new and beautiful world has come into being on this day. Explore it, enjoy it, appreciate it, and make the most of it. You have the priceless privilege of being here to experience this one-of-a-kind day. Use the opportunity to add meaningful richness to each of its moments. See the positive possibilities and act on them. Embrace the challenges and find great satisfaction in moving successfully through them. All the work you have done and all the moments you have lived have brought you to this day. Honor its rich legacy with the way you choose to live it. There are new possibilities to fulfill, new wonders to behold, new relationships to be forged, and new experiences to live. Get going with enthusiasm and with the commitment to make new goodness from it all. You have the good fortune of being right here, right now, in this new and beautiful world. Grab hold of the opportunity and live it to the fullest. An action I see I can take for myself when it comes to the theme new and beautiful world is to not stop. Keep pushing through. Enjoy the opportunities of the moment, each breath, each step, each blink, each wink. Take it and move forward until the next moment. And with each moment, I shall inhale and not let it go. I shall absorb the goodness of each and every aspect of it with all the atoms of my being. As I move forward and walk into the next step and the next step and the next, I'll see where it takes me. But I'll have purpose, I'll have a position, and I'll have a poise as I move forward into that divine, heavenly ordained place. Over to Quiet Storm for the prosperity work. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much, Nakia. Plain old hard work. What transforms a great idea into a great achievement? Mostly, it's plain old hard work. It doesn't hurt to be clever or well-connected or be in the right place at the right time. Yet, what matters most to any success is simply showing up and doing the work. Great, big, wonderful things of value are built by adding together small bits of value created in the ordinary moments. The most reliable way to success is to be reliable about putting forth the effort. Though you may have many great powerful tools at your disposal, don't expect those tools to do all the work for you. The more you invest in yourself, the more you invest yourself in the achievement, the more you'll get out of it. Plain old hard work is not something to be avoided, but rather something to be sought after and celebrated. In addition to building worthwhile achievements, it builds you, your skills, your confidence, and self-esteem. Seek the work, embrace the work, and do the work. And that plain old hard work, you'll find your very own path to fulfillment of the most satisfying kind. The work. Create a list of 10 desires that you want to fulfill in 2015, and that will require some old-fashioned hard work. Next to each item, write the date that you'd like to take action and get started fulfilling that desire. Say this affirmation daily. I am now guided into my true place with the true people and the true prosperity quickly, easily, and in peace. I am now come into innumerable company of angels. Share your list with at least one person daily and invite them to participate. And remember, demand a miracle.
Happy holidays to all of our listeners and our special guest, Janet Zaretsky. A world of peace and prosperity, one listener at a time. Until next time, grow your mind and money. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.